What's up, people? This is going to be part 1 of my newer How to Build a Ghillie Suit series. Now, I'm not sure when this is going to come out because I haven't officially started yet. There's still a couple things I need, but I have all of my burlap. I'm going to show you what I do with my burlap, how I God, my mind just went blank. How I prepare my burlap, and then how I attach my netting to my base, which is going to be my true spec multicam jacket, which I'm not against using now because I have a multicam combat shirt that's like the really light cotton in the middle and has multicam sleeves, which is a lot better than the full true spec jacket, I'll tell you that much. Just for hot weather, especially when you're wearing a plate carrier, it's a lot better because it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more breathable, and I just like it a lot more. So I'm turning my multicam jacket into this new ghillie suit. Now, I have all of this burlap right here. This is all strung into the base material, which is jute, and this is about 2 bags right here is all this stuff. I've got just piles and piles of this jute, and you need a shitload of this strung stuff because it does not last as long as you think it does. I had about 5 coffee bean bags, which I'm able to get from the gardening center in town because my dad is really good friends with the woman who runs it, and she gives me these burlap sacks for free. All I have to do is just go in and grab a couple whenever I need them. So, sorry, I don't even know what the fuck just happened there. So what else I did with this is I take these and I cut them into strips like this, anywhere from, you know, like maybe 1 inch wide to like 2 inches wide. And with these wider ones, what I usually will do is I will take it, and when I'm about to tie it in, I will cut like a little semicircle in each side, just so it's easier to tie a knot in there and it doesn't just completely take up one of the squares of netting. So this is all my waste. I've been working on this. I worked on this pretty much all night last night. I was going to be working on it during the day, but my buddy called me and was like, "Hey Isaac, come over to my house and we're going to shoot guns and do shit," which was nice. And I ended up making 40 bucks doing a lot of weed whacking for his dad. So that was wonderful. I don't need to respond to any text right now. I don't know why I have my phone. So now when you do all this burlap, especially when you string it, if you have allergies with like animal dander or anything like that, this shit is going to make your allergies flare up because you get all this little fucking fur all over you from the burlap. So what I do is I will usually take like my shemagh or something and I'll wrap it around my head, around my face, like this, and then just go back under it and tie it. This is how I used to wear these when I played airsoft, to protect my neck, because if you ever get shot in the neck playing airsoft, it fucking sucks. So I always had one of these, and whenever I'm stringing my burlap, I'll just wear it like this so I'm not breathing in all that fucking fur, because my sinuses will get so clogged from that shit. It's horrible. So when I'm stringing my burlap, I will take these full burlap sacks and I will cut them into 2. So you have the top part and the bottom part that make the sack, and then you cut it so you have just the 2 flat pieces like this. And then, unless you just take the time to do it completely evenly and perfect, which I never do, I never have the time to because I don't really want to, you just take all the small trash strands out. I'm doing this one hand, so forgive me. Just take out all these little strands that aren't going to do you shit. And I usually keep like some of the larger strands in like a plastic bag or something, and I'll use them later if I need just like natural colored jute. And then use those. So just get all the kind of trashy strands out of here. Here's a full length strand. I'm just going to take that out with it. And I go around all the sides and just do this. Sorry if this is kind of boring, but and I just rip out all these little shitty strands. And make sure you have like a sharp pair of scissors when you're cutting these, because trying to cut this shit with a dull pair of scissors, as I was trying to do earlier before I sharpened them, is a bitch and a half. I mean, it just sucks in general. So just take out all these strands. I go around all four sides. I do the same thing on all four sides, just real quick. Doesn't take a whole lot of time to rip out all those. But this is definitely the worst part about making a ghillie suit, is stringing all this burlap, because you will just have fur on all your clothes, and it's time consuming. Your fingers hurt. It's just horrible, but you gotta do it. So I'm just gonna finish this side and I'll get into this. So that's good enough. Yeah, that's perfect. So then I'm sitting here in this chair in my garage, and I got a fan on over here. So then I'll usually take this and rip out a couple of these cross strands. Just to give something to hold on, just to give me some space to grab with my fingers, and then save these for when I have the rest of it done. So I don't want to throw away valuable strands. And this is going to help a lot. I learned this in my first suit that I made. It helps quite a bit. Should just do this at first. Shit, there it goes. It fell. And I knew I should have grabbed my tripod, but for some reason I did not, because I am a dumbass. See, these are almost the same size. It's nice. Nice to know. Just gonna do one more here. Sometimes I'll just pull out like 40 of the fucking strands. And then sometimes I'll like sit on the floor and put my heels up, put my feet up on like the edges right here and pull it out so that I'm not getting the shit all over my lap. But that starts to fucking just kill my back. But this is what I did, is I just made a little space right here, roughly in the middle, kind of close to the middle, somewhere around there. And that way, like when you go to pull these out, it comes out a lot easier. It's just easier to grab onto in general. So I'm gonna set my camera up over here, like on top of my other ghillie suit. Hopefully I can get a decent shot without my tripod, because I'm a fucking retard and didn't grab my tripod. So this is how you string your burlap, is I just sit in the chair here, rip it out, and try to place them to where the ends are close to even. I mean, they're not going to need to be even when you put them in your suit, just to kind of give it that a little bit more of a rough, natural look. But when you're putting them into these bundles, it's it just makes everything a little bit easier, especially when you go to dye them and everything. It just makes everything easier to have them main sort of even. But yeah, this is just, you just do this until you get all the way through it, and you can tell when you're not in the middle because you end up getting this shit stuck more on one side, and it's kind of a bitch when you have a couple extra inches like I do here. But whatever. So you're gonna end up just having bundles like this. Whenever I have longer ones, like whenever I just do the full bag and it's just they're long like this, depending on the size, I like to have different lengths. You saw there were different lengths in there. They're not a whole lot different, but they're kind of different. So depending on how long this is, I'll either cut them in half or I will cut them kind of in thirds. Like I'll fold them like this and cut them and make them about that long. Then when you tie them in, they hang out to be about 3 inches long, like that. And you know, I mean, a lot of people, there's different preferences. People have different preferences in this. But I like my strands and everything to be between 3 and 6 inches when they're tied in. I like them to be, I like half of them, the radius of them, to be about 3 to 6 inches. The whole thing, anywhere from 12 inches to 6 inches long. Now, people do, if you go and you watch different tutorials on YouTube, I mean, they're out there. If you go and watch different ghillie suit tutorials, there's good ones and there's bad ones. Do not watch the bad ones. They're going to give you shitty information. You're not going to end up having a great ghillie suit. Hold on. But watch any ghillie suit tutorial you want, and people are going to tell you different things. I know Level Cap Gaming, I used to watch him a lot when I played Airsoft, and he did a tutorial with Spartan 11 7GW, I think was his YouTube, Spartan 11 7GW, yeah. And they live out in Southern California, and they did like 3 foot long strands, and it didn't turn out bad. It actually blended. It went really good. But my only issue with those long strands is I feel like they would just get caught up a lot more on stuff around, and it doesn't give you kind of more of a bushy look. Like, I mean, they don't stick up as much. Like I like with mine, like when I have the smaller ones, they kind of stick out a little more. But I mean, to each their own. It's whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna finish this bag, and I'm gonna get back into this when I am done. And when I'm finishing, when I got a couple strands left, I'll show you how I finish off the bag, how I finish off the sheet, and I will see you guys in, well, it's probably going to be about an hour between now and then, so see ya. And I'm back. It's been about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. Now, I'm literally like 1, 2, 3, 9, 10 strands away from finishing off this chunk of burlap, and I'm pulling these out by the ends now just because, I don't know, I've kind of changed it up a little bit. But when you get towards the end of these, you're not going to be able to pull out every single piece before everything just kind of falls apart. So I like to get to where there's maybe 1 or 2 strands left. And here's 4. 3, 2. Alright, and there's one of my bundles. Right there. Set that right there. And then I take the last strand right here, and I push down. I push all the other stuff down it, like this. And it just keeps everything together, it keeps it all in the same spot, so it's still going to be even to a point. And then just make sure you kind of keep them separate from each other in here. There's going to be a couple stragglers, of course, but no, what are you going to do about that? Where'd it go? There it is. So then just keep pushing it all down, making sure it's still all separate. And once you get it to a point, just pull it all out, and there's your last piece. Then you end up with this wonderful semi-even bundle of jute twine. Take the rest of this, put it right here. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your burlap sack broken down into jute twine. So, just gonna add this all together. And then you can see there's quite a few in there that are a little long or a little uneven. Ow, mother of God, that hurt. I actually sliced my finger open a couple days ago, or yesterday, with an axe. So, it's still healing. And then I fold it in half over my thumb, trying not to get jute inside of my straw for my McDonald's sweet tea that I am addicted to. And then these scissors are still a little bit dull, but just cut them like this. Takes a little while when you got a big clump. I'll sometimes use my knife, or I'll just kind of break them. I'll take them into about 20 strands a piece, and do them at like a rate like that. But then to kind of break up, because now you got this real straight edge right there, and to break it up, I will just twist it around like this. So you have one half that's totally uncut, and one half that you cut on each side. You take that and set that down. Then this bundle is a lot longer, so I'm going to cut this into thirds here, or roughly thirds. God, I hate this shit. These fucking scissors are so shitty. Sucks. So there's that half, or third. And here's the other. Take this. There's like a full strand. Keep that in there. Prosperity. Now let's throw that one. And then you take this one and fold it in half. And boom! Just cut this shit up. Arc. So then you got that, put it down, and then I'll just take a piece that's sitting down on the side or something. I'll take it and just plop it down like this, get all the rest of that shit out of the way, and plop this bundle down right here, tie it, that, flip it over, do it again, just so it all stays tight. That, and then just do another one. That way you don't have this shit blowing everywhere. That one goes over on the pile. And then you do the same thing with this one. Ah, come on, flip. There it is. And I was gonna fix that. Damn it. Alright. And just tie this. And whenever I dye this stranded shit, for some reason I don't dye it before I string it. A lot of people say that helps, but I don't know, I've never really done it. It kind of makes it harder for me to strip them. So then you got that bundle that goes over on the pile. And I dropped my scissors. So now I think this should be enough. If not, I've got another bag over there. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bundles of strung jute and 1 bundle of strips. And I don't really worry about not having enough strips when I start my ghillie suit, because even if I don't, I've still got all this junk in here which I can pull a couple strips out of, or I can always save a little bit of another bag. Let's see, I've still got 1 or 2 bags. I've got 1 more bag right here, so if I need more strips, I can always cut more, but it doesn't. I always want to have more than enough strands, because if you're almost done with your ghillie suit, the last fucking thing you want to do is have to sit back down for another hour and string more burlap. It just sucks. It's not something you really want to do when you're almost done with your suit. So I always want to have more than enough of that to last for the whole ghillie suit. And then if I need more strips, I just I'll cut more out of a bag. I might do another bundle. I might do another 2 bundles of the strung shit just to make sure I have a fuckload of it, because I know it doesn't last all that long, and I really want to make a really good ghillie suit out of this. So I'm gonna pick up some things at some point. I might go pick something up now. So I will be back with the next installment of part 1. I could potentially put this all into different parts, but I don't want to have a 10-part video when I could easily just make it into one, like a 3 or 4 part series. So I will be back in anywhere between an hour and a couple days. So for you, it'll just be about an 1/18 of a second. So I will see you whenever I do. I will see you in between an hour and a couple days.